You guys know that we are deep in the middle of the NFL offseason when I have to bring you a video like this. But before we get to the craziest situation unfolding in New England, make sure you check out the exclusive Amazon team gear and products linked right down in the description box to properly rep your squad this year. Okay, let's get right into it because this situation is absolutely wild. On Saturday, March 28th, the head coach of the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, checks into a luxury resort in Sedona, Arizona. That exact same weekend, the senior NFL insider for The Athletic, the exact same reporter who has been driving literally every single major Patriots story this entire offseason, checks into the exact same resort. They had breakfast together on the patio at 10:30 in the morning. They spent an hour at the pool. They got into a hot tub. They held hands. They hugged. And that night, on the rooftop of one of the hotel bungalows, they danced together. On Friday, those photos went public via the New York Post, and it caused the entire NFL world to collectively lose its mind. But guys, here is where it gets crazy. This isn't just some tabloid story about Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini being caught holding hands at a resort. This actually explains everything. This is a story about who has been telling you what you think you know about the New England Patriots for the past 4 months. And once you see this pattern, I promise you, you cannot unsee it. So hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we are just 3,000 subscribers away from 1.1 million. Let's break it down. Let me set the table on what actually got published on Friday because the details matter, and they're going to matter even more about 5 minutes from now. Earlier on Friday, page 6 of the New York Post dropped an exclusive report featuring photos of Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini at the Ambiente Resort in Sedona, Arizona. According to the Post, a spy, their word, not mine, observed the two of them throughout the entire day on Saturday, March 28th. The timeline laid out is incredibly specific. It's almost like someone's full-time job that day was tailing them. First, breakfast on the patio around 10:30 a.m., then an hour at the pool, then side by side in a hot tub, where the photos clearly show them holding hands and hugging. Finally, the report notes they were spotted again that evening on a private rooftop of a glass-walled bungalow dancing together. Now look, Mike Vrabel has been married to his wife since 1999. Dianna Russini has been married since 2020 and has 2 young kids. Both of them are highly visible public figures. And I want to be crystal clear from the jump. I am not here to tell you what was or wasn't happening at a resort marketed as a $2,000 a night romantic getaway. I don't know, you don't know, and frankly, nobody on Twitter knows. That is not the story I am interested in. There are families involved here, and I'm not touching that. What I am going to do is ask the actual football question that is buried underneath all of this tabloid drama. Within hours of these photos hitting the internet, everybody involved went on the record, and their responses do a lot of the heavy lifting here. Coach Vrabel went first. In a statement, he claimed the photos showed a completely innocent interaction and called any other suggestion laughable. Russini's statement is the one you need to pay attention to. She claimed the photos didn't represent the wider group of 6 people they were hanging out with, adding that, like most NFL journalists, she, quote, interacts with sources away from stadiums and other venues. Then, The Athletic's executive editor stepped in to back her up, saying the photos lacked context and that they are proud to have her on staff. Notice who didn't comment? The New England Patriots. Bill Belichick used to say the most interesting thing in the world is when an organization doesn't have a comment. Right now, the Patriots are dead silent. Mike Florio, over at Pro Football Talk, made the smartest point of the week. He said that while reporters and coaches are entitled to private lives, the second they gave statements to the New York Post, it became a public matter. And as Florio brilliantly pointed out, yes, reporters interact with sources away from stadiums, but there is arguably a massive difference between normal source interactions and holding hands in a Sedona hot tub. For the casual fans out there, you have to understand who we are talking about. This isn't just a local beat reporter, this is Dianna Russini. She is one of the 4 or 5 most plugged-in NFL insiders on the planet. If you're a football junkie, you have her tweet notifications turned on. She spent 8 years at ESPN dominating SportsCenter and left in 2023 to take a massive senior role at The Athletic. When Russini reports something, it moves the market. Her tweets get aggregated globally in seconds. She is exactly the kind of reporter that NFL front offices use to plant stories, leak their intentions, and shape public narratives. That's just how the insider business works. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Jay Glazer, Dianna Russini, they don't just report the news, They are part of the news cycle. And here's the crucial piece of the puzzle. Russini has been covering Mike Vrabel as a head coach since 2018, back to his Tennessee Titans days. That is a 7-year relationship between a reporter and a source. 7 years of texts, calls, and off-the-record chats. All right, lock in, because here is where this stops being a gossip story and becomes a massive NFL scandal. If I asked you right now, who has been the loudest voice this entire offseason connecting Philadelphia Eagles superstar wide receiver A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots? The answer is Dianna Russini, and it's not even close. Let's look at the timeline. On March 6th, Russini reports that the Patriots have poked around on A.J. Brown, noting the Eagles are holding firm on a steep asking price. The entire NFL media runs with it. 1 week later, March 13th, she doubles down. She reports the Patriots and Rams are making strong pushes and that negotiations are ongoing. She is literally framing the entire trade market for one of the best receivers in football. A few days later, she supplies the exact financial timeline for the trade. She tells the world that a trade will heat up closer to June 1st, citing the exact dead cap math. $43 million if the Eagles trade him before June 1st versus $16.4 million after. That exact number has been parroted by every network for 3 weeks, and it came directly from her. Now, fast forward to Saturday, March 28th. Exactly 2 weeks after her biggest A.J. Brown scoop, she is photographed alone with Mike Vrabel at a luxury resort. Breakfast, pool, hot tub, hand-holding, rooftop dancing. I'm not asking if they're sleeping together. I am asking you a much more important football question. Where did the A.J. Brown to the Patriots reporting come from? If you are an Eagles fan, you have spent the last month watching your front office's leverage get systematically destroyed in public. If you are a rival GM, you've been making roster moves based on what you thought New England was doing. And now we find out that the reporter delivering all of this market-moving information was on a private getaway holding hands with the head coach of the exact team she was reporting on. Defenders will say, this is just how the insider business works. They were both in Arizona for work and went hiking. But when the relationship becomes visible in this specific way, every single report gets called into question retroactively. Was this real reporting, or was Mike Vrabel using a friendly insider to shape his own narrative? Was he leaking a smokescreen to drive up Philly's asking price? Did Vrabel personally hand her that dead cap math? We don't know, and that is the problem. She has been the premier voice on Patriots free agency, cap space, and defensive trades all offseason, and the head coach was holding her hand in a hot tub. Think about Howie Roseman right now. The Eagles GM has to be sitting in his office wondering if his trade leverage on his biggest asset was completely undermined by a back channel running directly to an aggressive bidder. That is a real football consequence. Front offices are talking about this in group chats right now. So, here's what you need to watch over the next 72 hours. Number 1, does Robert Kraft or the Patriots break their silence? Number 2, does The Athletic quietly pull Russini off the Patriots beat? Watch the bylines. If her name disappears from New England coverage, that tells you everything. Number 3, does the A.J. Brown reporting suddenly shift to Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport? If she goes silent, the league is quietly cleaning this up. And finally, number 4, does Howie Roseman say a word about this on the record? Because if Philly pushes back, this story is going to drag all the way to training camp. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Is this just normal NFL insider business? Or did the Patriots just get caught manipulating the media? Drop a comment, hit subscribe, check out those Amazon links in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video.